Most people see themselves as separate from the world,
Right.
from the universe. They say there's me, and then there's this big world that I am just so little, you know. But that is actually an illusion. And it's very obvious to point this illusion out when you just look at the movement of things in the world. If you even look at the momentum, if you look at the movement of the universe, and if you're a believer in the Big Bang, or that everything started from a infinite speck or whatever, if you took my fingernail and traced it, it would take you back to that point. You know, anything that you see in the universe will take you back to that point. Okay, so what's happening? There's this expansion.
Right.
And there's an intelligence behind it, and that intelligence is infinite potentiality, meaning anything goes, you know, and it's infinite in its expansion. And this is the intelligence that creates worlds, and we look at it and we think that we're separate from it, but really we came from it. That's no mystery. It's like 1 + 1 = 2. When you trace, whether you believe in evolution or not, you know, there's arguments on both sides. It doesn't matter. The fact is, we're here right now. And when you look at what's evolving through time, what's evolving is consciousness. Consciousness is the thing that's evolving and creates, and it expands in every way it can. And one of the ways that it's expanding the universe is by creating what we call humans and endowing them with the ability to do by their own intentions. That's like, what a great design, right?
Amazing.
So everything you do in the world is the universe's way of expanding the universe. That's so obvious. Every little song you write, every little thing you say, every little thing you do, and the universe doesn't care if you're recognized on the level of worldly success for it or not. What it cares about is that you feel joy when you're doing it, right? Because that's what it enjoys. Because that's what you enjoy, right?
Absolutely.
You cannot get any better than feeling infinite freedom within yourself to create, expand the universe in any way that you want, and then finding the joy in it. And that's where we're heading. That's where we're heading as a species if we can get through the cracking of the ego, which we see in the world as these great repressions and wars and these limiting of freedom and all this stuff. But really, the only one you have to worry about, and you don't even have to worry, is yourself. You know, and your point of attraction, how you feel, what you're putting your attention on. So once you discover that what you really want to do is be creative and feel great freedom and joy in your creation, and that you can, you're on your way. And then the next thing you may come across are the obstacles. And what those obstacles, now you have to remember, you got to keep in mind that there's this momentum of the universe now through you to create, right? And it's going to happen anyway, no matter how much you fight it. The thing that creates the obstacles is you. And what they are the quality of thoughts in your own head. Because there's a lot of things that are important in life. How are we going to make a living? How we're going to relate to these people, how you're going to respond in this situation, what do you do with your neighbors that are doing this and your parents that are doing that and your blah, 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 and how are you going to be a great worker, and all these things they're important, but they're actually of relative importance. They are not of vital importance. They look like they are. But there's something that comes before all of the things you do in the world. whether it's your quality as a husband or a wife or a coworker or a parent or a child or, whatever it is. And the thing that comes before all the things that we think are really important is the quality of our inspiration. And what does that mean, the quality of your inspiration? Well, your inspiration is based on the thoughts that arise in your head, right? So it's the quality of the thoughts in your head that are really of the most importance, because from them comes all the other stuff. You can't be a great father unless you're solid within yourself, right?
That's
You
right.
can't offer somebody something that you don't have. And if you don't have a solid center, equilibrium, you can't really offer that. That's the best thing to offer,
right.
because anything that comes out of you will be inspired in that sense. So the question is, what is the quality of the thoughts in your head at any given moment? And you can answer that question by asking yourself how you feel. Because the way you feel emotionally, your feelings, are directly related to the thoughts in your head. The way you feel is created by the thoughts in your head. That sounds extraordinary, because someone could say, well, no, what are you talking about? I'm angry because this guy did this to me, or whatever it is. But really, the feeling of anger comes after the thought. Any thought that you think has a reaction in the body. And you know this if you're in a position where you're doing something with somebody and you're really enjoying it. You're on you're just having a great time. Everything is flowing great. Timing is perfect on everything. There's a lot of clarity in what you're doing, and there's an invigorating sense of enthusiasm, right? You feel great, right? You feel great. But when your thought goes to a situation from the past, or if you're projecting it into a fearful future, that's really just an illusion. Your body immediately responds. We all know what fear feels like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And fear that you feel inside is based on the thoughts that are in your head. Now, it may not seem so at times, because what we do is we create such a momentum of thought patterns through life that they feel natural to us, and we don't even realize that we're thinking them, because our attention is the thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, and that's what stress is, really. Stress is really just the momentum of thoughts, negative thoughts that create, and stress, it could it's this form of suffering, it could be very subtle. It could be just a frustration, an impatience, but it's still a form of suffering. And impatience and frustration are nothing but thoughts in your head. And they create a feeling in your body. You're sitting in traffic,
Right.
you get frustrated because it's not like your body is tensing up and freaking out and then telling you to think about how bad the traffic is. It's the other way around, And then it creates the feeling, and the feeling creates more fearful thoughts. And some people who suffer from anxiety or depression, anxiety arises based on thoughts that have been harbored that create a momentum that then materialize in the body in the feeling of anxiety.